Hello, everyone. It's nice to see some familiar faces as well. Welcome. And we'll be talking about a little bit about us, what we do, some use cases. And my name is Giray. I'm the business development manager for ARF.
And I'm Tuna. I'm the product marketing manager at ARF. And welcome.
Welcome, everyone.
So today we are going to talk about the solution we provide to financial institutions. Let's look at the agenda quickly. First, we will start with our story, and then we will define the challenge in the industry and talk about the solution we provide. And after that, we will talk about the real-world use cases and results. Then lastly, we will touch on the topic of transparency and share our outlook into the future.
So let's kick off our story. So ARF is established in 2019, and we are headquartered in Switzerland, and we are also licensed there as well. And we've been in stealth mode for a while after we established the company, but 2 days later, we completed our pre-seed round. And after that, we also captured our license again from Switzerland. And we did our seed round, and it was the biggest seed round at that time. Actually, it was in 2022 in Europe. We raised $13 million, and yeah, thank you. But after that, actually, as you can imagine, like most of the startups out there, we kind of tweaked our product a little bit. So we used to do a lot of on and off ramping in different parts of the world, but we seen there's an other opportunity, which is the liquidity problem that in the cross-border payments industry. So we focus in that area. So we launched our product called ARF Credit Line 2022. And about one of our co-founders actually used to have an app, global app, and they have a lot of users all around the world. And one of the biggest problem that he was having to collect all the funds from different parts of the world. So this app, in order to use this app, you have to pay in order to use some of the features of the app. So that was the problem, but he sold his company at one point, but he thought, okay, I was having a lot of problem with my app at that point, so I should maybe focus on this problem, maybe solve it. That's the idea of ARF actually came. And he's seen that, okay, blockchain and also stable coins could be the solution for these problems. So he focused on that area as well. So that's how we met with Stellar as well. So this is our story in a nutshell. And Stellar is one of our strategic partners. Other than that, we are working with Circle. Huma is our DeFi. We are utilizing their DeFi pool to raise funds. And we are also partner of IAMTN, MSBA, and we are a Visa Innovation Program company as well. We have some investors, maybe you may know, like Fembushi, UAB from Singapore as well. So, yeah.
Okay, now before we get into the challenges of the industry, let's look at the data. In 2022, the cross-border payments markets reached $156 trillion in size, and it's growing at a rate of 5% annually. So we are talking about a huge potential here. It means that the demand and need for international payments are increasing. However, the financial institutions who are facilitating these cross-border payments are facing with a couple of very big challenges. Yeah, so cross-border payments is a capital-intensive industry because most of these financial institutions have to pre-fund their payout partners. So pre-funding basically means keeping a certain amount of capital in that destination market, in that correspondent bank account, while waiting for the money to arrive at the destination market through traditional rails such as SWIFT. So as a result, there are more than $4 trillion locked up in pre-funded accounts today, which remains idle. So what do these financial institutions do? Because they locked up an enormous amount of capital there, but they are still getting the demand. So they go to banks or credit unions to borrow some money. However, most of the time, they are either rejected directly or they are discouraged by the long list of requirements, such as cash collateral, or long payment times. So pre-funding acts as a barrier to growth for most players today. And in 2022, we realized that this was a pain point in the industry and decided to focus on this problem. So we pivoted ARF, as Giray mentioned, and with the help of the Stellar Development Foundation, we launched our credit line. And to give you a sneak peek, within 10 months of operation, we facilitated almost $500 million in cross-border payments volume. But how does it work, and what are the real-world use cases of it? I will leave it to Giray to explain our solution.
Thank you. So, like Tuna mentioned, we are giving this credit line to other financial institutions. And these companies that we've been talking for the last 2 years, they're always telling us it's hard to scale, hard to grow when you lock in your own expensive capital, your own funds in payer's account. It's actually pretty hard to grow. So you have a trapped capital in different jurisdictions. You could utilize that money for growth purposes. You can spend it on marketing or grow into new corridors or grow in your volume as well. That's why we offer this short-term, uncollateralized, revolving USDC-nominated credit line. So the beauty of it is not like a general type of loan that you would get from a bank. It's specifically designed to decrease the pre-funding need. And that's why it's a short-term line for that reason. And we lend in for T+0 to T+5, for example, and not longer than that, because we know that the problem is there. When you collect them funds from your users, you're usually lacking a couple of days, and those 2-3 days is quite important because the receiver wants to have their money immediately. The sender wants to send the funds immediately as well. So that's the reason behind why we are offering this credit line only for short term. And it's USDC based. We know the benefits of using USDC. We are utilizing blockchain rails, so the receiver has the money instantly in their account. And our partners are also USDC friendly as well, so they can convert USDC back to USD and to local currencies as well. So as a sender, if I'm sending $100 from my account to my relatives who's living abroad, they only see fiat, but in the background, we are sending the USDC. The payers converts it and to local currencies, and they receive it. So doing this in fiat is problematic. You have to depend on SWIFT. You have to depend on correspondent banking. And as we know, it's pretty lagging process. And it's a revolving line as well. So let's say those payment companies that we are working with, they need those funds each and every day. So let's say they need $1 million today, and next day probably they will need another million or so. So we are lending them each and every day. And if we lend them today, they pay us in Wednesday, and we are lending them on Tuesday again, and they are paying back the loan on Thursday, for example. And another beauty of it, we are not asking for any collateral from those payment companies. We know that liquidity is important for them, so they don't want to, again, park their own capital. So there is uncollateralized credit line. That's the important part of the solution. And this is the traditional model. Let's say there's a remittance company or payment company, and they're moving funds to different corridors. It's usually some partners in Asia, some partners in Africa, for example, and they have more than one partner. So each and every partner, they have to hold some capital in those partners. And usually pre-funding requirement is around 20 to 30%, most of the cases for sure. And when you, let's say, working in 10 different corridors, you have to hold 20% of your own full volume in those partners. And it's a lot of money. You can use that funds for other reasons. And we say that instead of you pre-funding your partner, let us do that on your behalf. So you lock up the capital and use for other reasons. You can use it for growth. You can use it for opening up to new corridors. And this is our model. So it's pretty straightforward. After initial talk, let's say a payment company needs $1 million each and every day. For sure, we do our due diligence, financial checks and everything, and we credit the company. And let's say we agreed on a T+2 repayment cycle and they need monthly $20 million. We agreed on those terms, and when they need the funds, all they need to do is just send us the payment details. So for tomorrow, I need $1 million in my payers account who are based in Africa, let's say, and they send us the payment details. And once we receive the data, we push the USDC directly to their payout partners account. So we are not sending directly to them. We are sending to their payout partners, to their wallet address, basically. And payers receive the funds in USDC, and they are able to convert it to USDC, to USD, and to local currencies instantly as well, and they do the payouts. So everything happens under 15 minutes. This process, once we receive the payment information, in 15 minutes, we send the USDC to their payout partners, and they can do the payments instantly as well. So they don't need to wait for SWIFT, or they don't need to even collect the funds to their, imagine they have a headquarters in London, and they need to have the funds in one of the physical location. It doesn't need to arrive there. Once they have the information of the payments, they can just send it to us, and we send directly to USDC funds to their payout partners. Again, pretty straightforward. We underwrite the sender. It could be the receiver as well, whoever needs the funds, basically. We underwrite them. We agreed on the fees. We agree on the payment terms and the repayment cycle. And second stage is the request loan. They push us the payment details, either CSV, API, or they can actually use our dashboard as well. And once we have the data in under 15 minutes, we send the payout, the whole amount to their partner, and they repay back to us the loan after, let's say, a couple of days. And they can do this via any USDC wallet, basically. And this process repeats itself each and every day. So whenever they need the funds, we repeat this whole process, and it's pretty straightforward. And after we launched our product, actually, we partnered up with a remittance company from the UK, and they have more than 800 physical locations all around the UK. Imagine a kiosk where the sender goes to kiosk, says, okay, I need to send £100 to my cousin who's lived in Europe, let's say. And they put the money to the kiosk, and they receive the funds. But the problem with their model was they have to collect those funds from each and every kiosk they have in the UK, and it's a process. In order to collect those funds, it takes some time. They physically go to kiosks and collect the funds, and then they can send it afterwards, actually. But with our solution, when the information is there, when the sender puts the money on the counter, and they put the details, and they send us the details instantly, and we send the funds directly to their payout partners. So even when they don't have the funds in their account, they just have the information. But since they have the information, we can send the funds to their payout partner, and it's helping them a lot because they don't have to wait anymore. So after we started working with them, they increased their volume by 27%. And also it's still increasing as well because we are enabling them same-day settlement. It's quite important for their customers. As you know, when you send in a remittance, it's quite important. You want to send it directly to your partner, so we are expecting this volume to grow as well in the future.
And it was also our first case study. It was published anonymized. You can go to our website and download it if you like. And as Giray mentioned, because all of these transactions are happening on-chain, it is also quite transparent. So trust is the most important asset in finance, and we are committed to transparency. And we are committed to providing day-to-day traceability and visibility into all cross-border transactions. You can scan the code for our live dashboard, or you can go to our financial on Dune and see it yourself. The total loan volume, the repayments, all the facility we have, and even default rates are traceable and transparent on that dashboard. We can skip this one. Thank you. So ARF was built on a mission to empower cross-border payments. And we are doing that by creating an exceptional use case, bringing TradFi and Web3 technologies together. We are witnessing the opening of a new market today, and we are very aware of our responsibility as a trailblazer in this field. So what comes next for us? For 2024, we are targeting a monthly volume of 1 billion in cross-border payments volume. In addition to that, we aim to multiply liquidity flowing into cross-border payments by enhancing transparency. Currently, we are working on our own transparency protocol, which will tokenize each credit claim and information so that they can be auditable on-chain. But we're gonna announce the details soon, so please stay tuned. We are looking forward to that. And also, we are very keen on working with Stellar, very keen on bringing this cross-border payments volume and transparency onto Soroban as well. So by bridging the gaps and overcoming the liquidity constraints in the industry, we aim to create a more transparent, connected, and accessible global financial landscape. Thanks for listening to us. We've come to the end of our presentation. So we can...
Thank you.
We can get your questions if you have any.
Right.
I was just going to say we have 5 minutes before our next presentation. If anyone has any questions for Tuna or Giray, we have some time if they're amenable. Anyone have any questions? Yeah, over here. Let me do that.
Hi. Is this a competition to Ripple's ODL?
Would you like to?
Okay. The solution is similar. They are also lending short-term, but they're using XRP, and there are some disadvantages of using that as well. And also, other than that, it's not a competition, I would say, because the market is too big for that. I mean, there are some clients that we are talking to. They're also talking with Ripple as well. So those companies that we are talking, they're also getting loans from banks or from alternative lenders. So all those money transmitter companies or the payment companies, they are getting loan from either from a bank or they're using their own capital or partners like us. So I would say it's a similar product, but I think it's there's no reason that they can use both as well. And there are some advantages of using our solution as well. It's more transparent in our dashboard. They can see everything. Also, the payment details that we are collecting is traceable and everything. So, yeah.
So you are focusing on USDC mainly?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are mainly using USDC. We are not using any other stable coin other than USDC. But with EuroC, probably we are going to be using that as well. But, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Tuna and Giray.
Thank you. Thank you, all.